That includes the district, Montgomery County, Prince George's, and Charles County. All the areas shaded in orange. That is now until 8:45. And then, of course, we have the severe thunderstorm watch. That is the area shaded in pink. And that is until 11 o'clock. I want to show you quickly here, if I can find it on our weather graphics. We have a lot going on. Show you the lightning. Actually, this isn't the lightning. I'm going to pull that up in a second. Give you the latest on the flood watches for you in terms of what's going on. Flash flood watch continues for the D.C. metro area, and it also includes Fairfax. All the areas shaded in that brighter color green. And then, as you could see in the areas in red, right over here for southern Frederick County into northeastern Loudoun County, that is where we have flash flood warning, and that means that flooding is actually occurring as we speak, and it's going to progressively get worse as we move through the next hour or so with this heavy rain that's moving across the area. Well, I want to show you right now what it looks like with the lightning. These are lightning strikes across the Washington metro area, and it's pretty unbelievable when you think of it, this live lightning detector here. And we're going to zoom in inside the Capitol Beltway, and the areas that are white, those are recent, within the last 5 minutes. The ones that are orange that you can see moving towards South Laurel and Silver Spring, those are happening right now. And then the further off toward the west you go, those are older lightning strikes. So the entire area under an absolutely spectacular lightning show, and that's going to continue for at least the next couple of hours or so, Brian. And this heavy storm, or strong line of storms, now moving through Old Town Alexandria. It looks like the worst of this part of the storm just beginning to exit Reagan National Airport area and Crystal City. But if you had a line from the White House on 16th Street Northwest all the way into Silver Spring, if you were to go straight up and down, it is very treacherous out there. Gusty winds, lots of lightning, heavy rainfall. But Bethesda, you're now on the western edge of this line, and conditions are going to greatly improve over the next 10 minutes or so. And Reston and Fairfax City, you are looking at conditions that are beginning to improve, at least for the time being. But do not let your guard down. Brian has more, something just printed out.
Yep, a tornado warning for northwestern Charles and southwestern Prince George's County, east central portions of Stafford County and Fairfax County in Northern Virginia. Let's get back to the pink map, I guess, and we can highlight first off some of those areas just so we can kind of be clear on all the different things we're looking at. And you can see that's the same system we were looking at earlier that was kind of crossing over the Potomac there, and it's just right there on the fringe, extreme southeastern Fairfax, just south of Reagan National, as you were just mentioning, just south of Mount Vernon and trekking off to the east. Those areas that Steve's pointing out in red, those are the tornado warnings. That, in fact, runs till 9 o'clock.
Yeah, you know, Brian, that second warning that was just below it just canceled out.
8:45, okay.
Yeah, so here we are at 8:30, I believe.
8:30, you're right.
Well, they canceled it earlier than they had originally expected, because here we are at 8:34. It said they reissued it a little bit further toward the north, and then we still have that other one until 8:45 for King George County. Should also note we still have the severe thunderstorm warning. It includes Montgomery and the district, and Arlington and Alexandria. And if you look in the corner of your screen right over here at the White House, this is a live view of what's going on downtown D.C. as these very strong storms continue to move off toward the east. And we have more that's coming later on tonight. A lot of lightning out there right now, potential for flash flooding. Brian, if you could put me over to Storm Scan.
Sorry.
No, we're busy back here. It's good. And it will show you what's going on.
All right, they just kind of tweaked that tornado warning again, Steve. It's now a little more into Charles. It's still in that same area, but I'll pull up the Doppler and then I'll kind of zoom in a little bit here while you kind of point some of that out. That's the area we're looking at.
Yeah, so so people can get their bearings here. This is the district right here. Here's Reagan National Airport, where you see the airplane signal, and then you head toward Old Town Alexandria, the Wilson Bridge. Across the river, we have Oxon Hill, a National Harbor area, where if you're in that atrium at National Harbor with that big glass atrium, probably you're going to be safe, but not really the place you want to be, at least not right now during a strong storm. And of course, this is where we have the locks for that potential Doppler radar indicated tornado. And two areas that we are looking at right now. One of them is off to the north. Brian, if you can just give me the details on that one. I don't have the sheet of paper in front of me.
I'll just go through that. So the northwestern Charles County, southwestern Prince George's County, east central Stafford County, Fairfax County, and southwestern Prince William County until 9. Doppler radar indicated a severe storm capable of producing a tornado near Triangle and kind of moving over towards Aquia Creek, including areas that could be in the impact zone, St. Charles, Marbury, Potomac Heights, and Ricin, and just a little bit more to the north there, we're talking about the other one on western Charles County, and that is Ripley, Marbury, Potomac Heights. So there's kind of those two areas coming in on the western side of Charles County. With the Doppler here, Steve, I'll try to highlight some of these areas. This one leaving to the east of Quantico. There's 95. Here's Quantico. This is now to the east-south, to the east, I guess, due east of it, if you would. And this is over along 244. I'm trying to highlight some of these roads over here that maybe you would identify just to the north of Ironside. This is 425. This is Marbury. And we mentioned this here because they've been under the gun earlier. This is 210, which runs up towards Accokeek. So one area of concern here in the due western portions of Charles County, and a secondary one up here that is just to the west of Accokeek. I'll widen out that view a little bit more, and that is just down to the south east of Mount Vernon, moving towards Accokeek and upwards along 210 over towards southeast of Mount Vernon, and obviously to the west side of Clinton, Maryland there. These storms have had histories of dangerous wind gusts. We've had the heavy rain, thunder, and lightning, but some rotation. These last two, if I'm not mistaken, Doppler radar indicated, saying it sees the potential. What do you have off the
And that's the time, of course, when we have even if it's Doppler radar indicated and there's not anything confirmed in terms of a funnel cloud or nothing confirmed as a tornado that's actually touched ground, this is the time where you need to head to a central location in your home without any windows. If you have a basement, this is the time to head to the basement. You know, a lot of folks think to themselves, oh, it's going to be fine. It's not going to hit my neighborhood. It's not going to do anything to me. But when the National Weather Service issues severe thunderstorm warnings, when they issue tornado warnings specifically, and when we have so many locks on our Doppler radar, this is the time where you need to seek shelter and do it quickly. Should also note, newly issued flash flood warning, south central Frederick County. This is until 11:30 tonight. Doppler radar indicated a thunderstorm producing heavy rain across the area. Of course, we've seen that already, but Doppler radar has indicated that the cell across Frederick County has the potential to bring up to 3 inches of, actually 3 inches of rain have already fallen across central Frederick County. This includes Frederick, it includes Park Mills and Buckystown, all under the flash flood warning at this time.
I'm trying to see if I can pull up the precipitation total graphic here. This is a Doppler estimated rainfall rates, and this is showing 2, 2.5 to near 3 from Point of Rocks to Urbana. And this is just a Doppler radar estimated area, but to pick up 2 inches of rain, Steve, in this vicinity on the north side of 15 and over here on the upper side of us, so 70 up towards 70. I mean, that's a lot of rain over a short amount of time. And this box you see highlighted in here, that is the area that is under that, the flash flood active warning, because some of these areas have seen 2, 3+ inches of rain on the ground, and yet there's still more precipitation out there that continues to come down. So flooding, one of our concerns out there off to the north and west. We have severe thunderstorms from Gaithersburg down through the district and down through southern Maryland. And it's that southern Maryland area. I'm going to get back in here. There's so many boxes, I might turn them back off again. This is the area. Yeah, that's just a mess. That's a hot mess right there. Where you can see you can see where the areas are. We've had these locks. We've lost the lock up here near Mount Vernon, but it's in this area here, western Charles County, southwestern Prince George's County, Clinton along 210, Marbury, leaving Quantico. This area in here, we've seen some indication of some rotation, and that's basically been moving the Marbury Accokeek way up 210 just to the east of Virginia, just on the other side of the river, and heading up towards the Waldorf Accokeek region.
Hey, Brian, I'm going to have you just pull out for a little bit, and we'll zoom into the Capitol, inside the Capitol Beltway area, so that for folks who are watching us in the district into Prince George's County, a lot of densely populated areas at this point, and you can see how heavy rain, northeast D.C., College Park, now moving into Prince George's County, Largo. You are just on the edge. The rain, not so significant right now, but I guarantee you have already heard the thunder, you have seen the lightning, and a whole lot more is on the way. We have this now in motion, and it looks like the heaviest of the rain now beginning to exit the Arlington area, eastern Fairfax County, and beginning to lighten up across upper northwest D.C. as you head toward Georgetown and West End, the district, and Reagan National Airport. It looks like the worst of it is now off toward the east and quickly racing toward the east. Old Town Alexandria just finishing up right now. Let's head over to, I believe we have a camera showing National Harbor, and could show you what's going on over there with the heavy wind and the lightning. Actually, I think they have it in the control room, Brian, that they're going to call up. While they're doing that, we're going to continue to talk about this. What?
It's just weather bug. They can take weather bug.
Okay, yeah, here's another one. I believe National Harbor 495, and this is, I believe, looking toward the Wilson Bridge. So a lot of lightning. Traffic is moving fine, but be prepared. If you find yourself on a roadway or find yourself out later on this evening, obviously you're indoors right now if you're watching us, and if you're going to be traveling anytime within the next hour, try to put it off a little bit until these storms finally move on out of here. It's going to happen. Things are going to improve dramatically, and of course, Father's Day is tomorrow. Coming up tonight at 11, Brian's going to have the latest on that forecast, and I guarantee it will look completely different than what we have out there right now.
It is. Let's hop back over the Doppler, Steve, and let's just kind of hone in on some of those areas we were watching on the western side of Charles County and southwestern Prince George's County. That's where we've seen some rotation denoted here. This is Marbury in southern Maryland. That's 210 up towards Accokeek, and it was this area in here that we've seen the potential. Doppler radar indicated that there was some spinning out there as this system continues to continues its trek to the east-northeast. Accokeek, La Plata, Waldorf over towards the west of 301, all portions of the area that we're watching right now. That tornado warning runs until 9 o'clock. Those other warnings run through about 9 o'clock as well. In fact, maybe we'll recap that one more time, but I want to show you this. I guess let's do the big picture, because you can see we watched this earlier from Hagerstown, Martinsburg, Charlestown, in the western Northern Virginia, Leesburg, down towards Fredericksburg, and now the push, the brunt, the heavy is now from, let's say, eastern Frederick, Carroll, Howard, eastern Montgomery, western Prince George's, eastern side of the district, and down through portions of southern Maryland. And as this continues to push eastward, although more rain wraps around on the backside, hopefully things could be calming down a bit, but that active situation we're watching there in southwestern and northwestern Charles County and southwestern Prince George's County is that tornado warning until 9 o'clock this evening.
Yeah, Gaithersburg and Rockville and Bethesda, for those of you who live near the spur for 270 and the Capitol Beltway, the heaviest the rain is now off toward your east. Tyson's Corner, the heaviest the rain is now also to your east. You're looking at light showers right now, but off of the horizon you can definitely see the thunder, or see the lightning. And then to the west of you across Manassas and now moving toward the north and east, another batch of showers and thunderstorms beginning to develop, and I suspect that this will be capable of producing gusty winds and heavy downpours similar to what we have right now. If you're on the BW Parkway, probably not the best place to be right now. I wouldn't say it'd be a good place to be for the next half hour to 45 minutes. If you have travel plans from DC up to Baltimore, hold off at least for the next hour or so. I think you won't regret it, and it will save you some time and some hassle, because it's not looking good out there, at least with the heavy downpours, a lot of lightning, and the gusty winds. Still have active severe thunderstorm warnings for the district in Montgomery County. I suspect that they're going to update the warning map and will expand it further toward the east, and it will eventually include probably more of Howard County. It will include the eastern edge of Prince George's County, and wouldn't be surprised if it starts to include southern Maryland for Charles and Calvert and St. Mary's County. But right now, those areas just under a severe thunderstorm warning, and also a tornado warning for the areas of southern Prince George's County. That, I believe, Brian, is until 8:45. 8:45. So
there.
Set to expire in about 40 seconds on that one. So that will come down shortly. Rest of the area under a severe thunderstorm watch until 11 o'clock.
Oh, we have something printing. While we're looking at something printing there, Steve, I wanted to point out a couple other things here. I want to look at our weather bug. We're lucky enough to have this weather bug program that gives us some tallies from our weather stations around here. Look at some of these rainfall totals. Look at Frederick, Maryland, Ballinger Creek Elementary. This is just today, and this is only since the last few hours. 2 inches of rain, but not just up in Frederick. Look at Springfield, Virginia, and Fairfax County. 1.85 inches of rain. Over 1.5 over at St. Thomas Aquinas School in Woodbridge. Annandale over an inch, and temperatures that were flirting with the low 90s earlier, Steve, now in the low 70s. And one other thing to show you here on WeatherBug, because another thing, look at these wind gusts. These are wind gusts that I picked up from our WeatherBug network. Children's Hospital had picked up wind gusts at 42 miles per hour. We picked up a 45-mile-an-hour gust over at Island Creek in Alexandria. Boyd's 47, and the biggest thus far up in Clarksburg, Maryland, a 50-mile-an-hour gust up in Clarksburg. So the story has been the rains, the story has been the winds, and the potential for some of that twisting and spinning in the atmosphere that has led to the issuance of some tornado warnings. Some from folks that have identified them down in Stafford County. Someone thought they spotted one, King George. Others by Doppler radar. The only active tornado warning currently until 9 o'clock, still watching, is Western Charles. And then the only active severe thunderstorm warning, King George, Spotsylvania southward. So it would appear it would appear that these are losing a little bit of steam, as you were talking about.
But I would not be surprised, Brian, that we see additional severe thunderstorm warnings issued, even though right now there's a little lull. Especially across the eastern portion of the area. I want to show you a video, a time-lapse video that was sent in by our executive producer, Lauren Stouffer. This is from Old Town Alexandria, and you can see the rain. Let me tell you, it was coming down, and look at the lightning. Heavy, heavy rain, lots of lightning, gusty winds. I'm sure that we're going to hear about numerous power outages as we move through the remainder of the next couple of hours. And as quickly as that storm moved on in, it lasted probably about 15-20 minutes, and now Old Town Alexandria, you are finally just beginning to emerge from the western edge of the strongest storm. But the lightning, the thunder will continue, and even though we don't have an active severe thunderstorm warning for Prince George's County, for the district, for into southern Maryland, strong storms are on the way with gusty winds, heavy downpours, and a lot of rain. And there's more to come after this.
Yeah, let me pull up the storm scan here. I'll show you, because this kind of pulls together everything that we've been watching through the evening, and you can definitely see the well-defined spin, the swirl, the circulation, if you will, of this system that continues to be trekking through. This has been obviously powerful through a large portion of the nation. I mean, this started out in portions of Texas, making landfall down in the southeastern coast of Texas, through the midwestern portion of the country, and then lifted northward. The plain states, the middle portion of the country, inundated. The heaviest stuff now, you can see the reddish colors. They are driving to the east side of the city. There is a little bit of a lull. There is a break. You can see to the west, we do have a break. And through northern western portions of the area, up towards the Panhandle of West Virginia calming down, northern central Virginia calming down, the mountains calming down, but there's still more rain from Pittsburgh to Elkins back to Charleston. And although you see the progression of this moisture moving eastward, keep in mind the overall system is counterclockwise. The big area of low pressure is spinning counterclockwise, and as it continues that counterclockwise rotation on the backside, we'll pick up some of this moisture you see down to the south and west. This will scoot on through, this will skirt on through and bring us the potential for some showers as we continue to go through later tonight. So once we get through the active severe portion here in the evening hours, once we get towards bedtime, it's more about the concern of that flooding they're still watching, and keeping in mind that we are all under that flash flood watch. But in addition, we do have some active flash flood warnings. Thank you, Steve. Off to the north portion of the area, extreme eastern Loudoun County, just up north towards Point of Rocks, and then across into Frederick County proper. That area you see highlighted in red, those are some of the areas that have already picked up upwards of 3 inches of rain. There is a little bit of a lull, but keep in mind, once those rains come down, you get your urban flooding, immediate flooding in those low-lying areas. But once all that rain that comes into the rivers and tributaries all works its way down, that's when we start to see greater impacts as well a little bit later on. But look at the intensity. This is right along 95. This is Laurel, just to the west of Bowie. Here's the District of Columbia. There's Alexandria proper, as Steve was saying, Upper Marlboro, Clinton, Waldorf. Still watching a little bit of spin. Here's 210 coming up from Accokeek, and that is the area that has the active tornado warning until 9 o'clock. The other warnings are down to the south, but that is that area we've seen some history of some spinning from Doppler radar indicated, and this area is still pretty heftily being rained on. You can see the thunder and lightning and potential for some of those dangerous winds. Obviously, you're in that western portion, northwestern portions of Charles County, southwestern portions of Prince George's County. If you're just tuning in, you have a tornado warning until 9 o'clock. Obviously, we want you to seek shelter right now, but we continue to cover this because this is just a kind of an unprecedented, big active situation. Lately, we've had some showers and storms as of late. We've had a very summer-like feel, but I'll tell you that we've seen that these storms have not been as widespread as this has been, Steve.
All right, Brad, I want to show you a live camera shot north of Waldorf and Brandywine. This is 301 in Charles County. Traffic is moving fine, at least it appears to be moving fine, but let me tell you, quite a spectacle in the sky with a lot of thunder, a lot of lightning out there. Let's take a little trip around the live cameras that we have, and I'll let the control room sort of steer this for me. Look at this picture. It looks so much better. This was you couldn't see anything. The Capitol Dome, the Washington Monument, the Lincoln Memorial, you couldn't see anything just about 15-20 minutes ago. This storm, a lot of lightning. Even though the heaviest of the rain has moved away from the district, away from Arlington, it's going to continue for at least another half hour to 45 minutes. So a lot of rain on the way. A newly issued flash flood warning now in effect for Fairfax County and also East Central Prince William County. This is at 8:49 9, Doppler indicated a thunderstorm producing heavy rain. Of course, we've seen that up to 3 inches has already fallen. An additional inch of rain is possible as we move through the remainder of the overnight hours. This newly issued flash flood warning, it includes Woodbridge, Fort Belvoir, Dale City, Franconia, Newington, Montclair, Mason Neck, and Mount Vernon. Once again, a newly issued flash flood warning for Fairfax County and for East Central Prince William County until 11:45. That means that roadways have the potential to become flooded or already have started to become flooded. Let's head back to our Doppler radar for you, and we'll just take a little trip here in terms of what we are expecting or what we are seeing, and we'll head in just a little bit closer to the Capital Beltway. So Old Town Alexandria, Oxon Hill, we've talked about those areas, densely populated, heavy rain, but you don't have to head too far north toward Reagan National Airport, toward Crystal City, toward Roslyn area, where things are beginning to improve in terms of the lighter amounts of rain, but still a spectacular lightning show out there. College Park and Bowie, even though we don't have a severe thunderstorm warning, those areas, Greenbelt, College Park, Hyattsville, Landover, Bowie, Largo, you are looking at heavier rain as we move through the next 15-20 minutes or so. Let's head over and show you what's going on. We'll center this up a little bit more. For those of you in McLean and Falls Church and Annandale, a little bit of a lull, but as I show you what's going on just off toward the west of you, Oakton, Fairfax, Fairfax Station, and Burke, another cell getting ready to move your way. And I'll put this in time-lapse mode here, and you can see how all this is moving off toward the north and east at, it looks like a fairly quick clip here. So Vienna and Falls Church and Annandale, another round of heavy rain and another area of potentially gusty winds and a lot of lightning will continue. For those of you who are watching us in southern Maryland, very important. At this point, we have no active severe thunderstorm warnings, but we still have the tornado warning. Does that come down yet, Brian?
Yeah, no, it's still up till 9 o'clock.
Till 9 o'clock, so about another 7 minutes. But, you know, we've lost all of our locks, so I think that's a good sign.
No, for sure.
And it looks like things are going to begin to improve, if you want to call it that, as we head through the next several hours or so. But we're not out of the woods quite yet. Rixieville, you're in Culpeper, drying out at least for right now, but Stafford and Ruby and Catlett looking at the heavier rains. We'll head a little bit further toward the north to show you what's going on. At least Frederick County now beginning to clear out for us, especially western Frederick County. But for those of you who are in Montgomery County, things are beginning to dry out. Gaithersburg and Germantown and Rockville, things are improving dramatically. But Columbia, the worst of it is now just moving off toward your east. The same for Laurel. Bowie, you are in the thick of it. And Alexandria, Old Town Alexandria and Oxon Hill and National Harbor, keep thinking that that's going to slow down, but it has not moved.
Let me get that National Harbor cam back up. Let's see if I can pop
and
that
Brian's going to work some magic over there with our weather graphic system here. There's really some good news here, folks, is that we're going to look for improving conditions. We're going to head back to the National Harbor camera. And what do we have here?
Yeah, that's the National Harbor camera. That's our camera from the Capitol wheel right now, and you can see it on the big screen behind you. Sorry, Steve. There's the Beltway as well. They're pulling up for us over there as we continue to look at some of the cameras across the area. Thank you for pulling up that. I want to load something up in our box, so you keep up your cameras there for a second. You can see what we're happening across the area. Some of those showers.
Yeah, and if we could take a look at the White House and the U.S. Capitol again to show what's going on downtown, it looks a lot better already down there. A lot of lightning you'll see in the horizon, but at least the core of the heaviest rain has now moved out of the district, and we no longer have a severe thunderstorm warning. We're going to stay on live here until 9 o'clock, until that final tornado warning comes to an end. And of course, we will break in should any additional warnings be issued, but we have another 5 minutes to go for that final tornado warning, and we'll just walk you through this. And Brian's setting up a few things here.
I want to show you the future cast, because I think this has had a good handle on this system. So let's hop over back to our maps. That basically kind of lines up with what we're looking at right now, Steve. In fact, I'll go ahead and I'll put the Doppler up there, and let's widen out let's pull that out. Do you mind pulling out the Doppler for me for 1 second? We'll pull that. What we're going to do is going to show you that the storms that we're seeing on the Doppler right now, basically lining up with our future cast. And what I want to show you here, as you can see, that heaviest push right now is of 9 o'clock driving to the east. Now, this is a model interpretation. This predicts the weather in advance, and this has a pretty good handle on things being just to the east of the city by 9 o'clock, which we are right now. Take us forward to about 10, 11 o'clock this evening, and you'll see as this moves to the east by 10, 11 o'clock, yeah, there's some more stuff off to the west, but we are calming down somewhat. The most active stuff moves out in more just sporadic showers through tomorrow morning. And the key tomorrow, Father's Day, after a morning shower early, partly sunny and hot, and for the most part dry. Yes, there could be a stray shower tomorrow, but for the most part dry. I like how that shows the heaviest stuff. You're pushing east here. The last of that tornado warning at 9. Still some active thunderstorms possible to bedtime, but after bedtime, our severe threat diminishing. And that's, in fact, Steve, when the severe thunderstorm watch is in effect through 11 o'clock. Those active warnings right now, the tornado warning in western Charles until 9 o'clock that we continue to keep our eye on, and also that severe thunderstorm warning that is down for King George, our friends down towards the northern neck, as well till 9 o'clock. Not that there can be a few more heavy things to push on through, but we are seeing things calming slightly. Yeah, no, it's still heavy, it's still bright, there's still heavy downpours, but I think it is losing somewhat a little bit of steam.
Yeah, and just a quick programming note, we're going to log off here or switch out at 9 o'clock here on ABC 7, and then at 9 o'clock we're going to switch over to extended coverage on News Channel 8. And of course we'll stay on as long as we have the severe thunderstorm warnings on News Channel 8, and should anything reoccur in terms of tornado warnings, well, of course we will jump on immediately on ABC 7. But at 9 o'clock you can switch over to News Channel 8 for extended weather coverage as the storms continue to progress off toward the east. And I can tell you for sure that things are beginning to improve. However, don't let your guard down quite yet. Watching this cell across western Fairfax County, I'm going to head over to the wall real quick for you and show you, point it out for you so everyone can see everything as we wind down our coverage here on ABC 7. We're watching this cell right here. It's not worn down, and we have no active severe thunderstorm warnings for the immediate metro area, just a severe thunderstorm watch until 11 o'clock tonight. Watching this right here across central Fairfax, it's moving off toward the north and east, more of an easterly trajectory. It will impact Bethesda eventually, upper northwest DC. But this right here, this by far was the worst of the storm, and it's now moving off toward the east, eventually across the bay toward the Delmarva. If you have any friends who are at the beaches this evening, Rehoboth, Dewey, Bethany, Ocean City, things are going to change very, very quickly for them over the next couple of hours as these storms continue to race off toward the east. Steve, best news of all, we are going to look for our severe thunderstorm watch. I believe a lot of this is going to start to come down to the west of us, possibly even before 11 o'clock.
But it has been pushed to the northeast into eastern Pennsylvania and Delaware now.
So these are the areas right now. And of course, if you have any travel plans, I know it's late on a Saturday night, not many more flights going out of Reagan National, but flights coming in likely to have been delayed. Amtrak, check with them as you head out if you have any late trains tonight up and down the eastern coast, because a lot of delays are expected. Still have this 1-1 tornado warning right over here. That's going to come down in 1 minute, and we are going to look for improving conditions. Show you storm scan for you. This right here, this whole area, this is what was once Tropical Storm Bill. That's the same system that dropped upwards of 10, 12, 13, 14 inches of rain across Texas into Oklahoma. It moved across the country, and now it's finally beginning to break apart a little bit, but you can still see the spin in the atmosphere. This is all yet to come later on tonight, but I think the most severe weather, the strongest of those storms, are now coming to an end as they quickly move off toward the north and east. So DC, Arlington, Alexandria, most of Prince George's County now beginning to see improving conditions. Fairfax County, you have another band that's just about to move in that will eventually move into upper northwest. We will keep you covered here on ABC 7. Now we are going to switch our coverage, live coverage, to News Channel 8. We thank you for joining us. If you'd like continuing weather coverage, change to News Channel 8 right now. Top of the hour and
trip. I decided I wanted to go hiking. We had no reason to be thinking anything was going to happen.
Your kid is in danger, and you have to step in front of it.
When a grizzly attacks a human, they bite and release, bite and release.
Jenna, jump!
It was one of the worst places in the park. They said that a bear attack could have occurred.
I have never heard screams like that before or since.
I was beyond scared. I just kind of accepted that I was going to die.